It is clearly now the will of the Parliamentary Conservative Party that there should be a new leader of that party and therefore a new Prime Minister.
On Thursday, the 7th of July 2022, Boris Johnson, elected in 2019 as PM with a huge majority, resigned as leader of the Conservative Party. What went wrong? The trigger was an MP called Chris Pincher, recently made Deputy Chief Whip. On Wednesday the 29th of June, he allegedly groped two men in the Carlton Club after drinking alcohol.
Last week, a government minister was accused of sexually assaulting a young man. I want to quote the victim's account. He says, "He grabbed my arse and then he slowly moved his hand down in front of my groin."
But his slide into unpopularity dated back to 2020, when Boris was accused of mishandling the pandemic. His advisor's COVID rule breaking also reflected badly, and the press attacked him for cancelling Christmas. In April 2021, a fairly petty scandal over Boris's Downing Street flat redecoration broke out, dubbed Wallpapergate. In November 2021, Conservative MP Owen Paterson was found guilty of paid lobbying, but Boris initially blocked his suspension before U-turning. The same month, reports of rule-breaking gatherings in Downing Street during lockdown started to emerge. Sleaze reappeared in papers. In April 2022, Boris was fined for attending a party in 2020, and Sue Gray's biting Partygate report in May worsened things so much that in June, Boris barely won a no-confidence vote, itself a bad sign. And then came Pincher. His shocking behaviour is reported to the Chief Whip, and on Thursday the 30th of June, Pincher resigns as Whip. Boris removes the Whip from Pincher on Friday, but draws heavy flack for his delay. The question of why Boris gave this alleged sex pest his position arises.
I abhor bullying and abuse of power anywhere in Parliament, in this party or in any other party.
Keir Starmer!
None of that explains why he promoted him in the first place.
So the same day, Boris's spokesman states that Boris wasn't aware of any specific allegations, which was false. Over the weekend, allegations of past sexual misconduct by Pincher flood in. He is said to have groped a fellow MP, a young man at party conference, and a councillor. On Tuesday, Boris apologises for promoting Pincher despite him being subject to 3 misconduct investigations since 2017, and admits he had been told specific allegations against Pincher.
He knew the accused minister had previously committed predatory behaviour, but he promoted him to a position of power anyway. Why?
But said he forgot. Still worse, he refuses to deny describing him as
"He's handsy. That's the problem. Pincher by name, Pincher by nature."
in 2019. Hours later, a hammer blow comes. Chancellor Rishi Sunak and Health Secretary Sajid Javid resign. They start a flood. There will be 59 resignations over the next 2 days, crippling the government. Even those who stay urge him to go. On Wednesday, Boris defiantly vows to keep going.
For 80 years, and I cannot for the life of me see how it is responsible just to walk away from that, as I said earlier on in PMQs, particularly not when you have a mandate of the kind that we won 2-3 years ago. But shouldn't...
The Times headline that day is "Johnson on the brink." Conservative MPs worry he will have to be forced out via another no-confidence vote, and plan to change the 1922 committee's rules to allow that. But on Thursday morning, Boris realises the game is up. He tells the BBC he will step down as party leader, but, just like Cameron and May, stay on as Prime Minister until a new leader is chosen. So, just before 1 p.m. on Thursday, the 7th of July 2022, Boris Johnson resigned.
But as we've seen at Westminster, the herd instinct is powerful. When the herd moves, it moves. And my friends, in politics, no one is remotely indispensable.
Woe to the vanquished. Boris was a titan, and then he wasn't. But his good humour stayed with him to the end.
But them's the breaks.
He quipped. How it happened is clear, but why, less so. Boris's initial mission was to solve Brexit, which he achieved, imperfectly. Once this was done and COVID hit, he lost steam. His exuberant personality didn't have a chance to shine in such a depressing pandemic. His laudable levelling up agenda was hindered first by COVID and then the cost of living crisis. When combined with hysterical newspaper coverage of sleaze, including Partygate, which reached its peak with the Pincher scandal, both he and the Conservative Party knew he had lost the moral authority needed to lead the UK. Boris was partly unlucky and partly at fault, but entirely his own man.